Thank you very much. Great honor to be here. We're having some very good discussions, maybe even great discussions. And I will say that our relationship with Prime Minister Abe in Japan has been, I think, the best it's ever been. I don't know, I'll let you speak to that, but I think it's the best it's ever been. Go ahead.
どうもありがとうございます。このようにして、会談を持つことができたことを大変光栄に思います。非常にいい話し合いをすることができまして、もしかして、大変素晴らしい、話し合いだったかもしれませんけれども、安倍総理との関係は過去と比べて、最もいい関係にあるというふうに思いますけれども、日米関係について、安倍総理の意見は分かりませんけれども。
We're discussing trade. We're doing a lot of trade together, a lot of military trade, actually, which is a big component. We're also talking, obviously, about North Korea, and those discussions are going very well, and we're discussing lots of other things, and the relationship between us, but also the relationship with us and the other countries has really been, of the G7, has really been outstanding. From the moment we got here, we've been treated beautifully. I think I speak for Shinzo and myself, we've been treated beautifully. And I want to congratulate, and I have to say thus far, because we're probably halfway through, but thus far this has been really a great G7, and I want to congratulate France and your president, because they have really done a great job. Thank you.
貿易、そして、軍事貿易などについて、話し合いをしてきていますし、また北朝鮮、そして、他のいろんな他のテーマについても議論をしてきましたけれども、日本とアメリカの関係だけではなくて、日米と他の G7 との関係についても、話があるわけなんですけれども、本当に、これは最初から素晴らしいもので、心臓もそうだと思うんですけど、私たちはこのフランスの G7 に来て、最初からものすごくよく待遇で、まだちょっと半分ぐらいしかまで来ていませんけれども、これまでは非常に素晴らしいフランスのもてなしに対して感謝であります。
まず、先般、10人目のお孫さんが、誕生されたことを心からお祝い申し上げたいと思います。
At the outset, I'd like to congratulate you on the birth of your 10th grandchild.
今年に入って、4月に私が、訪米をし、そして5月に、令和時代初めての国賓として来日をいただき、また6月にはG20 において、日本を訪問していただきました。これほど頻繁に日米の首脳がですね、往来をしたことは今までないと、未だかつてないほど日米首脳間、そして両国の絆が強い時はなかったと私も思います。
And speaking of our intensive diplomatic engagement, as shown by my own visit to Washington, D.C. back in April, followed by you and Madam First Lady's state visit to Japan in the month of May as the very first state guest under the new era called Reiwa, and also followed by our meeting on the margins of G20 Osaka Summit. So as shown by these meetings, we have been conducting a very frequent exchange of opinions as well as visits. And looking back the history of Japan-US relations, we never seen this frequent level of visits between the two leaders as we have seen at this moment. So I think it is fair to say that we, as the leaders of Japan and the United States, now enjoy the robust relationship of trust more so than ever, and same can be said vis-a-vis the status of the Japan-US relations in general.
どなたの協力のおかげで、G20、大阪 G20、さまざまな課題の解決に向けて、大変力強いメッセージを出すことができたと思います。この G7 においてもですね、ドナルドと協力して、成功裏に導いていきたいと思います。
And thanks to your tremendous support for me as a chair of the G20 Osaka Summit, we could send out a really powerful message toward addressing various global challenges. And just as importantly, I am ready to work very closely with you, Donald, so as to bring this year's G7 summit to a successful conclusion.
同盟の進化について、あるいはまた北朝鮮やイラン等の地域情勢について、また日米のですね、貿易経済について今日は船である議論をしたいと思います。
So on this occasion, I certainly look forward to discuss with you specific ways to deepen our alliance between the two countries and also the regional situations, including North Korea as well as Iran. And of course, we look forward to discussing bilateral trade as well as economic relationship. And I certainly hope to have a very productive discussion with you.
Thank you, and I want to also congratulate the great Matsuyama. Do you know who Matsuyama is? He's a great golfer. We played with, and we had a lot of fun. And Shinzo is a very good golfer, and we have a lot of fun playing golf together. And we played with Ernie Els here, and Shinzo reciprocated with a great player, Matsuyama. And last week in the big tournament, which is one of the very biggest tournaments, he came in third. And he shot a 62 or 63 in the final round, which is not bad, right? Which is not bad. So he's a great young man, and he's a great golfer. And please congratulate him for me.
Yeah.
Okay? Thank you. Okay.
Mr. President, do you have a trade deal with Japan? Have you agreed on a trade
We're
deal?
working on one, and we're fairly close. And I don't know as to Bob Lighthizer, what's happening. Could you give us a status report?
Well, we're very close. We work very intensively, and hopefully, as a result of this meeting, we'll be able to come to agreement on core principles.
It's a very big deal. It's a major deal with Japan. If it gets done, we'll possibly know by the end of this meeting.
Mr. President, did you sign off on a statement to Iran, a message to Iran that President Macron says he's going to deliver on behalf of all the G7 countries?
No, I haven't discussed that. No, I haven't.
Do you support President Macron's outreach to Iranian authorities?
Sure. And I also support Prime Minister Abi's outreach because he's also speaking to Iran. They have a very good relationship from what I understand. But Iran's no longer the same country it was as it was 2.5 years ago. Yeah, but we'll do our own outreach. But, you know, I can't stop people from talking. If they want to talk, they can talk.
What are some of the issues you all talked about at dinner last night?
You tell me what we spoke about last night.
I'm asking you, sir.
Because there was a lot of inaccurate reporting. We had a really good dinner last night, and I had a fantastic lunch with the President of France yesterday. The best, frankly, I told him, I was totally honest, probably an hour and a half. Many of you saw it. I think it was the best hour and a half I've ever spent with him, President Macron. It was a perfect period of time, and yet I picked up stories that I read like it was the opposite. It really wasn't. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can write whatever you want to write, but it was false reporting. We had a very, very good lunch. We had a very, very good dinner last night. Everybody was at the dinner. And I think it was really good. We discussed Iran. We discussed trade. We discussed China. We discussed many things. But it was a very, very good dinner.
Mr. President, you said you discussed Russia, and you said earlier it was a lively discussion. Do you feel that the other members of the G7 would encourage Russia to join again the way you are?
I think that's a work in progress. We have a number of people that would like to see Russia back. I think it would be advantageous to many things in the world. I think it would be a positive. Other people agree with me, and it's something that we're discussing. I don't know that we'll make a decision one way or the other, but we did have a discussion about Russia last night as to whether or not we want to invite them back. I think it's advantageous. I think it's a positive. Other people agree with me, and some people don't necessarily agree.
How do you expect to overcome those differences?
Well, I don't think maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just leave it the way it is.
Can you say who are some of those who agree with you on inviting Russia back?
I could, but I don't think it's necessary. Some of the people that I was surprised. I was actually surprised at a couple of them, because I didn't think they had a good relationship, and it was good enough that they said yes, would like to have them back. It's ongoing discussion.
Are you still
No decision was made. We didn't do a vote or anything. Just discussion.
Are you concerned at all about North Korea conducting more tests?
I'm not happy about it, but again, he's not in violation of an agreement. We speak. I received a very nice letter from him last week. We speak. He was upset that South Korea was doing the war games, as you call them. I don't think they were necessary either, if you want to know the truth. And I said to my people, you can have them or not. I would recommend against them, but I'm going to let you do exactly what you want to do. I said that to all of my people. I said, I don't want to interfere because I think if you want to do them, you can do them if you think it's necessary, but I think it's a total waste of money. And they did a modified version of them. John Bolton, would you say that's correct? It's a very much modified version. But I think it was unnecessary to do. Thank you.
Any update on another meeting with North Korea?
Probably have one, yeah, probably. But so I'm not liking short range because short range is Shinzo's. It's really his territory. I mean, I'd like to ask Shinzo, how do you feel about North Korea and the testing of short range missiles? He's not thrilled.
短距離ミサイルの試験についていかがでしょうか。あんまり嬉しくないと思うんですけど、おそらく
もちろん我々日本はですね、短距離弾道ミサイルも国連の決議違反であろうと思っておりますし、この短距離のミサイルの発射については憲法です。
So our position is very clear that the launch of short-range ballistic missiles by North Korea clearly violates the relevant UN Security Council resolutions. So in that sense, it was extremely regrettable for us to experience another round of the launch of the short-range ballistic missiles by North Korea in recent days.
And
Prime Minister,
I can understand how the Prime Minister of Japan feels. I can. It's different. But, I mean, I can understand that fully.
そうした日本の総理大臣の気持ちをよく理解できます。立場が違いです。
Mr. Prime Minister, would you like President Trump to come further to your position on this?
Yeah, 常にですね、トランプ大統領とは緊密に連携をしています。また、米朝プロセスについては日本が全面的に推進しています。
As we have done before, I would like to make sure that we, meaning myself and President Trump, will always stay on the same page when it comes to North Korea. And also, I'd like to underscore that I fully support the U.S.-North Korea process 100%.
But are you on the same page if you see these things so differently?
I think ultimately we're always on the same page. As long as he's Prime Minister and as long as I'm President, I think we're always on the same page.
But you don't.
いや、でも、心臓が総理であれば、究極的にいつも私たち2人は意見が一致している。
Sorry, but Mr. President, you don't think that the short term or the short missile launches are a violation of UN resolutions?
Because I never discussed that with him personally. You're talking about personally. I never discussed that with him. I discussed long-range ballistic and that he cannot do, and he hasn't been doing it, and he hasn't been doing nuclear testing. He has done short-range, much more standard missiles. A lot of people are testing those missiles, not just him. A lot of people are testing those missiles. We're in the world of missiles, folks, whether you like it or not.
直接、キム・ジョンウンと長距離弾道ミサイルと核のことしか話してないので、それは彼は控えているということで、短距離は話してないということは私としてはちょっとそういうことですけれども、そのようにミサイルを撃っている国はたくさんいます。そういう世界に残念ながらなっています。
I have confidence that in the end, Kim Jong-un, who I've gotten to know very well, will do the right thing. I feel that he will do the right thing. I think it's to his advantage to do the right thing. I think North Korea has tremendous potential as a country economically. I think maybe there's no country that you could talk of in terms of emerging that has the potential that North Korea has. I think he understands that better than anybody. And I think in the end he will do the right thing. We'll see. Maybe not, maybe, but I think he'll do the right thing. See what happens. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Press. Right this way. Thank you, guys. Press, right this way. Thank you.
究極的には彼は正しい選択を取るというふうに信じております。北朝鮮と
Thank you, Press. Right this way, guys. Thank you.